call the Finance and Admin Committee Special Budget Meeting number 74 to order. Kidding, number, whatever this is, 5, 4.
Special meeting number 3.
Special meeting number 3, draft number 4 and 5. Thank you. All right. And this is being filmed or videoed for public viewing pleasure. Roll call, please, Melissa.
Steve Brenner.
Here.
Rick Weinhofer will be late or by phone. Bill
He's
James.
walking in right now.
Here.
Dave Reeser.
Here.
And Keith Durr will be absent.
We have a quorum when he walks in. When he walks in, we do. I can't count that high.
Great.
We have 4.
Have it now.
Have it now.
We'll wait for Rick to walk in if he's walking in.
He is walking in?
He just sent me a text. He's walking in the door.
The wrong place.
Well, I mean, depending where he parked.
Door's not that far away. All right, well, we can move on.
I hear him. I hear him.
We can move on to public comment. Does anybody have any public comment?
Hold it there, Steve. Hold it there so I can,
That's all right. He can take public comment and
The agenda items for the Finance Committee. Okay, hearing none, moving on.
all right, now council should open.
okay, the special council meeting. And I'll call that portion of this meeting to order. Reminder that public comments, or excuse me, that this is being recorded for public viewing pleasure, as Steve put it. Council roll call, please.
Councilmember Brenner.
Here.
Councilmember Stanko.
Here.
Councilmember Reimer.
Here.
Councilmember Mogul will be absent. Councilmember Barnett. Here. Councilmember Weinhofer.
Here.
Council President James.
Here. And now I'll turn it back over to Mr. Brunner.
Okay, the purpose of this meeting is to discuss setting the 2026 budget, hopefully. And I know Phyllis distributed out the 4th and 5th drafts, so just so we can be on the same page. Draft number 5, I want to make sure everybody's on the same page, includes what increases in taxes?
$250,000 for EMS, bringing the total to 1.25.
And how is the other 1 point being distributed?
1.5 for general and 1/10 for road.
So draft number 5 includes a total tax increase of 1.7,
1.25.
1.25 total.
The additional 1.25 was added from draft 4 to bring the EMS tax from 1/4 to 1/2 mil.
Okay.
That's an addition.
I know what I'm talking about, and I'm now confused. So what is it, what are the tax increases for next year in EMS?
EMS for draft number 5
Correct.
would be 1/2 mil.
That's an addition to the 1.25.
No.
Well, that's included in it.
It went from 1/4 mil to 1/2 mil for
Okay.
draft
And
5.
what do we have in for general government tax increase?
Draft 5, 1.5, excuse me, 0.15.
1.5. And then what do we have for
Road.
road?
If I can pop over to the.
Sure, please do. Thank you.
There we go.
Should have done this first.
This is draft 4. You can see the total millage
I'm on draft 5.
increase
That's
is
the problem, Mike.
0.1. Is one full mil. 1.5 for general. 0.1 for road, 1/2 for a new fire tax, and 1/4 for EMS.
And that's a total of 1 mil increase right there.
That's for draft 4. If I go over to draft 5. You see that the EMS tax changed to 1/2 mil. The 1/4 mil was added there. That brings the total increase to 1 mil, 0.25 or 22%.
22% tax increase.
suggestion that you made on Friday, Steve, removes the general on the road.
Which we did not send out because I just wanted to see what it looked like if we retracted that. Do you want to put that up for everybody's purpose for number 6, I guess? So that now keeps the road where it is, the general taxes where it is. And what does that do to our general fund without any additional overhead transfers?
That has the additional transfer in there.
So that draft would be negative, would be minus $1.2 million, basically. Leaving our general reserves at unreserved account at 5.4 million with 1.035 million reserved. Fair statement?
Correct.
Okay. And then go back to draft 5.
Draft 5, fund balance.
Yeah. So that gives us a negative. So in the past, we've had about a budget based on negative about $700,000, right? 732,000 or something like that. It was last year.
Correct, 724.
724, I was close. This increases that projected deficit to $938,000. Leaves us $6.7
6.7 overall,
million overall.
2.3 overall in the general fund, which equates to a little over a month worth of it.
Recommended reserves are 3 months.
Correct.
When's the last time we had 3 months in that fund? Just for
25.
just for general purposes. Just want to make sure we're saying that. Okay. And the fact that if we enact this, whether it's the full 1.5 or the 1.0, the EMS tax is basically going so we can identify what we're spending for that type of service and does help reduce what we're spending in the general government budget, correct?
Correct. Would you like to see draft 5?
Just trying to get everything out there that's in my mind out on a piece of paper.
Can I ask a quick aside? I know many years ago, we had like a $12 million, maybe plus fund balance, $10-12 million fund balance sitting there. And ever since then, we've been just eating away at it. How did we end up with that?
On a fire truck?
No, do you mean how do we end up with?
How did we end up with $12 million just sitting in the account?
We didn't do anything.
We didn't do anything.
We deferred a lot of capital projects. Just
So now we're
kicked it down the road.
kicked down to us.
Yep.
Okay. The problem is now we're spending more than we're making, and we're gonna run out of money in 4, 5 years, 6 years. If we're lucky, 6 years.
Anybody else have any thoughts?
Well, the whole trick is if you had $12 million at one point and didn't spend it, then now we spent it, and we probably couldn't figure out how we spent $12 million or whatever we spent, but we did. So now we're at a point where we're down 2 and we don't know what we're spending. So if we don't know what we're spending,
We know what we're
We
spending.
know what we're spending
yeah.
in the budget.
I know, but we also had $12 million and spent all of
We have
that. You're
twice
asking
as many police officers now than we did then.
Well, all right, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
well, you're gonna go to the next
Yeah,
step is you're
it's-
down and you're gonna spend more because we're already down. So how much more do you spend when you're in the hole 2 going forward next year?
We have, in my mind, we have to spend $938,000 less than we have sitting
That's the
on this
goal.
piece
Is
of
if we
paper.
pass this budget at that rate is to try to
Well, that
find a
would be,
way to save 938 during a year. I don't know how we're going to do it, but
well, if we're able to save 938,000 and not spend any more money, that would be a real victory.
and for the general good of the group, can you talk about how the long-term funding and the fact that we're not getting reimbursed for the long-term funding, all that stuff comes into play in both the 24, in terms of the 25 and 26 budget?
25, we anticipated the RACP reimbursement. in the amount of $2.4 million. We did not get that reimbursement. We did not plan for the repayment in '25 because we weren't counting on the
Bill
funds
coming
being
in.
available. In '26, we're anticipating the RACP funding to come through a little higher than we had originally anticipated, so I budgeted receipt of 2.5 million and a repayment of 2.1, which must occur by June 1st.
What is the likelihood of us getting reimbursed by June 1st?
Pretty high. My call with Econ last week, it's been, I want to say 8 going on 9 months, not including the state government shutdown that happened in between. Since everything was submitted to the Office of Budget for review and the request for reimbursement, one of Econ's current employees was a former employee of Office of the Budget and knows kind of who to ask what. So last week, there was a gentle nudge to the Office of Budget. Hello, you've had our compliance documentation for approximately 9 months now. What is the anticipated ETA for reimbursement? Typically, when that happens, payment is forthcoming within 8 to 10 weeks.
So this budget, draft number 5, has a 1.25 or 22% rate increase. That means for every $100,000 worth of home you have, you're paying $125 more. Fair way of looking at it?
For 100,000, yeah.
100,000.
For $100,000, it's $125 more. This budget, if it does anything, and at least starts aligning EMS, fire, those different taxes that we're putting in to show that we're spending that much money on those different public safety pieces, does not change the fact that 90% of the world, or 90% of our borough, is mostly worried about their streets being paved and their toilets being able to flush. But we have to start showing, in my opinion, have to start showing where these expenses are going. And I think by doing the road tax before, doing the different taxes now, at least lets the employees know, or excuse me, the residents know that we've got a budget problem, and a lot of it's coming from our major services between the police and the fire department, or expenses created by the police and the fire department when it comes to other things. Does anybody have any other feelings on this tax? I don't know that there's anywhere else we can cut.
What about the $40,000 we're spending on Christie Scher for the police and fire? I mean, I know she's done, but it's $40,000. My other question is just in small numbers, decreasing events, going back down to 3 movies instead of 5 or 6, going
I
back
did
down
look
to
at
3
rec
concerts instead
events.
of 5, yeah.
And the suggestion was to take the 25 spending and add 10%. When I did that, that number was higher than what was proposed for 26.
In some of them, yes.
I took it as a total.
So it's total.
Oh, no, I'm not, so why was it for the events?
For all events together,
Okay,
25 total plus 10% was a bigger number than what was in there for 26, because not all events have increases.
right.
So I did not touch the events in total.
And the fact that okay, I'm sorry, Jen, I don't interrupt.
No, it's just going back down to 3 movies instead of 5, or up to 6, going back down to 3 concerts instead of 5, dropping Touch a Truck, dropping some of these other events, and just focusing the money on fewer events and making them good. I mean, each movie is a little over $1,000. We do 4 movies plus a movie at Happy Hollow. I'm just thinking of, I know we were gonna increase events, and I think it's been done, and it's been done well, but at the same time, we're $1 million over budget.
Is our parkland commitment over, or are we still paying on that? Was it 50,000 for that consultant?
They got the consultant, and that was paid for back in 24.
So that's done.
That's done. Now, there's work to be done in there that the park department is doing. Most of the money, I don't know what we've spent this year, but most of the money was covered by grants this year.
After grant funding.
I think it was
We
like-
haven't even spent all of the grant funding yet, much less
Right.
close to 20.
Right.
So we're all good there. We're all good. Break even or better.
I don't know, I'm just looking for places. Somebody else can tell me where else to look, you know? And the other place to look is
Christie does
staff.
stuff for,
Fire
That's
department.
the health, mental workout stuff.
I mean, I know it's peanuts in the whole process, but I also understand your point.
Yeah, like when somebody comes and says, you know, we're over budget, you go, well, you know,
But we're talking about a $40,000 event overall to protect the well-being of the people. The real cost is in them.
And I would argue there's potential long-term cost savings there in terms of everything from insurance claims to workers' comp injuries, et cetera.
is there a way to cut back the program? Like, I don't know what we're getting for $40,000.
You're getting on-site targeted services 3 times a week for both PD and fire. So you're getting,
3 times a week, all year long. We talked to West Reading, we were gonna talk to West Reading about them.
yeah, so I mean, we've talked to West Riding and Spring Township, just even getting their people to show up is one thing, much less. We want to just come for a session or two. And I mean, it's the same thing. Their shift work, and if a call comes in, they gotta go. So trying to align it with the times of the week that we offer either the jujitsu, the physical therapy, or the personal training, it hasn't worked for them to get here.
Have we looked at the cost of going over to Wyomissing, the Wyomissing outfit that Restrepo has? What that costs per,
This is an
exercise.
This is,
Flexibility.
what is this?
90.
Like physical therapy, like a physical therapist
Oh.
coming in and stretching. That and, I mean, the PD
Physical
currently,
therapy, because they have insurance for that, right?
no, it is actually physical, it's a physical therapist.
insurance for physical therapy if there's a problem. This is preventative physical therapy.
Well, that's what you do when you go to a gym.
Okay, but I don't believe the local gym offers what they're.
Well, that's what I'm
Right.
asking. If it's $40,000, how much would it cost to take X number of firemen if they gave us a great deal and said, we'll do it for $10? That's 1,200 times 5. You just save $35,000 and they can exercise whatever part of their
What
body
was
they
your
want.
budgeted number last year?
We left it alone. There was no increase to it. I mean, the other piece to that is we won't know until sometime in early '26, but we did apply for a federal grant to the tune of $75,000 that would cover 3 years of on-site mental health treatment with a licensed psychologist.
Let me try my next topic. Traffic signal maintenance, the West Shore is 125K plus routine of 40K. What's this West Shore traffic signal
Those are,
maintenance?
not so much the street lights, more the overhead signs on 222. And they have lighting that lights them up in the evening that is not working.
Okay.
Um,
And that's,
It's been that way for a year. Would it be nice to have it fixed? Yeah. Could you cut it?
what about the underground tank that needs to be removed for 60K? Does that have to be removed? Is there, and there's a guideline on time? Yeah,
It's temporary out of service, and then, it's regulated.
okay. Yeah, I didn't know if there was regulations on that. I'm just looking for more money.
Yeah.
Who's fixing those lights on the highway?
Don't know.
Not us. Not us.
We're paying for it, but
We're paying for it, but we're not doing it. I can't picture those signs. I can't.
Just the big green
Like the
sign that say
exit?
222 south,
or your exit with the road number or name.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't see them. That's why I don't notice them.
Driving daytime.
Because we're in the middle of November, I do have the advantage of having some additional information that we didn't have at the end of October.
Let's hear that good news.
All right, because I have 11 months worth of data, I did update both the water purchases and the treatment charges. I did look at personnel changes, particularly in the police department, and I found a lot of offsetting factors. If we have someone leaving, we have someone coming back. If we have other agreement costs, they've been offset. We did have a timing change to the 50/50 sidewalk program. The original drafts had included 75% of that cost falling into 2025. With the first payment app that's going to the November Infrastructure Committee, only 33% of it is going to be done. So that makes the year-end projection better, but falls more costs into 2026. Other items that affect the 26 proposed budget, I did receive an updated abstract from the county dated November 7th. There was a nominal increase of like 165,000,
Whoa,
but when you,
Nominal.
yeah,
first time I heard that in 10 years.
when you put the general tax on it, I did tweak that number just a little bit. As discussed at the last meeting, rec fees were increased 15% at the playground, 7.5% at the pool. I already discussed the event budget. I did not change that because the 10% over the 25 cost was a bigger number. I did increase the water overhead transfer from 400,000 to 650,000. It gets us closer to what we're charging the sewer fund, but not quite even there. I did remove from the budget the cost of the meeting lunches. That was just a few $1,000s. I delayed the planned start for the fire chief since we're not ready to hire that individual. And I did eliminate the cost for credit card fees at the front desk.
And that's all reflected in.
That's all reflected in both draft 4 and 5.
So good news, but not great news. So the only thing of significance is that the lighting on the highway. I mean, we could just bite the bullet, do it, get accused of doing stuff instead of kicking it down the road, or we could kick it down the road.
Letting more lights fail, so it's even worse.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just throwing it out there.
Depending on the section of the highway, PennDOT could reimburse us for 50% of that cost, but that reimbursement won't occur if we do the work in 26. That reimbursement won't occur until 27. So I have not budgeted for that reimbursement.
Well, it's good to know. So we could have $62,000 come back at some point. Anybody have any thoughts on those lights? Is there anything else significant that anybody found that we might want to dig out of here? Well, we might as well get to the crux of the matter then. Well, do we want to do the lights or not?
I have a concern about removing the lights because it's a safety factor.
I agree.
Somebody has an accident that could generate liability for the borough. So I would prefer
There
that.
knows me any more of that. No, I would agree that we got to keep it in there. That's why I didn't pick it out.
Yeah.
Okay, then we have to talk about revenue. I have a hard time getting to 1 mil, let alone 1.25, but I understand we got to do what we got to do. And I know in the whole realm of things, our residents are getting a whole lot for the amount that they pay, but that's easy for us to say because we're here every day or every meeting and understand what the cost of everything is. Doesn't mean they will. The fire station is exorbitant. The police department's starting to get exorbitant. Yeah, the amount of roads we could do 5 years ago when I was on infrastructure committee with the same amount of money that we're using now is totally different. I mean, I know people will probably understand it when they think about it, but they're not going to understand it when they see it's 22%. So thoughts?
In the draft, do we have all of the money for the grant being received and the one lump sum payment going out to Webster's? That's all.
All drafts of the budget have included the receipt of 2.5 and the payment of 2.1.
Do we need to look at maybe reducing that amount? I know we can go up to a certain figure. I want to pay down that principal balance sooner rather than later, but with what we're looking at, does it make sense to not eliminate the pay down, but reduce the payment we're making to assist with the fund balances?
So borrow more money, basically. You're just, yeah,
I mean, that's
To
what I
borrow
kind of,
more money in a different way.
right.
We went to the public, took a long-term loan out, we promised them that we're gonna get this grant, we didn't get the grant. We did get the grant, but we didn't get the money yet. I think we owe it to them to stick to our guns.
Agree.
Now, it's gonna cost them
I agree as well.
$75 a year for that, probably just for that purpose, but you get the point. Anybody else have any comments that's on the committee? Dave, you have anything?
I think we've looked at the budget pretty heavily, and what it is.
Well, we keep saying what it is every year, then we're gonna run out of money. I'm just saying, I know I'm the only one saying it.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
I think the project that's potentially happening over at the mall is gonna be,
Hopefully. But how many years away is that?
yeah, I
I
agree,
mean,
I agree.
I think we have 4
It's a huge
years
number.
until we run out of money. Are they
mean,
gonna be bringing?
The
in
residents don't
money?
understand, you know, the amount of tax that we've lost just from that property over the course of the years.
Assessed value went down $50 million over the past 10 years.
Fortunately, we got the Vanity Fair done at the right time, at the right place, at the right cost. So the Berkshire Mall is down $50 million.
Their assessed value in 2015 was approximately 55 million. It's now down to 5 million. The interview that I did with the Wall Street Journal 2 years ago, I actually ran the numbers and did a comparison. The lost tax revenue just from them equated at the time to a third of our streets budget annually. And that's not taking into account lost mercantile and business privilege tax.
Well, if we start doing big projects like the fire department, the police department, and every time we do one, it costs us hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you're looking at what we've been doing over that 50 million you just said, I mean, we're losing money, but we're adding the personnel to be able to handle the large quantity of people that were there, where they're gone, but we still kept buying stuff to do what we're doing. The population hasn't gone up, and the number of shootings and murders haven't gone up, and the number of fires, I don't know. But if we keep doing all the EMS, fire and police stuff, and we're not adding any value financially, I mean, it's always going to be that way. You're going to go up and out of business because we're going to have no money, and we'll still be adding people to do what they don't have to do because they're not around.
Which is part of the reason I felt important to institute a fire tax and an EMS tax. And I'm not saying I was the only one, but since I'm the head of the committee.
Well, to add a tax is just another way of saying we don't have to raise the budget. We just add a tax. And you look at the newspaper just the other day, there's a huge, everybody probably saw it, the EMS stuff. I mean, we think we're on the cutting edge, and they're looking at us like, can you give us another $100 a week or something for everybody in Wyomissing that needs to go to the hospital? That's coming. I mean, Tusi will be in the door next week asking us for more money because we're one of the few that do it.
Well, that's not true.
That's not true.
Well, if there's a lot that
And
do
there's
it-
a lot more proposed for this year.
Well-
The whole thing with EMS, yes, finally, it's gotten to the forefront and it's in the paper. Ron, this has been going on for 2-3 years.
I'm not saying it's not good. I think it's great. I think we should, at least that's one thing where we know the number of people we have, we can divide it by whatever the percentage is and know exactly what it costs. But when you're looking at how many fires do we have, and how much do we spend on the fire department? I mean, the EMS stuff is chicken shit compared to the big stuff, the fire and the police. That's the big dollars.
You look at the fire tax and the EMS tax, that's 1 mil increase,
Yep,
just those two.
just those two. Just to keep the services flowing.
And you can't get rid of the fire company, you can't get rid of the EMS, it's just,
Those taxes don't cover costs.
Doesn't even come
Sure.
close to covering
No,
costs, but it
no.
covers the increase in cost at least.
increase, yes, but that could account for 1 mil between those two.
We have about 11,000 residents, correct?
Yep,
So a $30 million budget is like just shy of $3,000 per individual.
Just charge everybody $3,000, not worry about this.
Yeah, then we don't have to bring in any other money.
We don't have to worry about any other things. All right,
Every
What
baby,
else would be for
toddler,
sale?
and teenager.
Fred, do you have anything? Mr. Mayor, historical perspective?
Yeah, I feel your pain, but I don't really have anything to add that you haven't already talked about.
I think the new council should look at what I suggested before, is that there's certain services that the fire department provides that is covered by insurance, an individual's insurance, and we should start charging for those services, like popping a door in a car. And examples of that.
I've talked to the fire department about the reality of doing that, and it's not that simple. We can charge for like,
I know it's not simple, but it's done. I was with a company who did it. And it can be done.
Some of the rec things you mentioned, Jen, I think during the course of the year, we could say, hey, we need to find a sponsor for that second or that fourth movie in the park, so it's a net neutral number, and if we don't, then it doesn't happen.
But it's going to be in the rec guide. It's all gonna get printed
That's
out.
good.
I mean, originally we had 3 concerts, 3 movies. We've added more. We've added Touch a Truck. I don't know that then any of these additions have ever been run past, were brought up from rec board and run past council.
Sure they were.
Um,
Or it was within their budget, so they didn't have to.
I mean, there really wasn't an expense for Touch a Truck besides what, $400 for signs?
plus labor for the departments we're paying to be there. But yeah, I mean, that's just, it just adds up. It all adds up very quickly. Just wondering how to.
So I mean, I'll go
This
back
is
to
the- yeah,
to
this-
stick on the rec for a second. I mean, I'm all for hearing what you're saying, that we can't keep escalating. So, my suggestion again, tag all the numbers to the 25 numbers, go no increases across the board. And we're just not going to have our events be as big this year. And that's what we have to do. Everybody's tightening their belts at the moment. So again, it's not a lot, but keep the rec numbers the same. So go no increases across the board for those.
That would save like 16 or 18,000, I think.
Not going to change what we have to vote on, though.
No.
What's anybody else's? I think part of the charm of this town isn't just its tree-lined streets. It's the fact that, you're safe, for the most part. I mean, we don't know, like, there's idiots walking through the town every day, I get it, but, we have a great fire department, we have a great police department, our road crew, our parks crew are all great. It comes at a cost. They're all getting paid more. The benefits are going through the roof. Our health insurance itself is up 17 or 18% this year. 20, yeah, which is not abnormal. I do that for a living. Yeah. We need to find a way to stop the bleeding. I don't know if we're going to find it right now, though. We can at least put that's what I was looking for, a tourniquet on it, to try to slow it down. So does anybody have a recommendation on what to pass? We have 2 options. In my mind, we have one that's a total of 1 mil, which is, this is the 1.25 mil.
Correct.
Can you put the 1 mil up again?
You have to change the EMS, isn't it?
Yeah, and it adds the EMS back to the reg general budget.
Right.
This would be with no increase in the general road tax, and the only increase being the enactment of a fire and an EMS tax.
And that would leave us with how much left in the general budget?
You have an overall general of 2 million, 1.2 after reserves.
And we don't feel there's any other way to do any even more overhead transfers. I don't know that we want to start doing that too much.
You're just moving money.
You're just moving money around, right? Exactly.
As I said, we could move an additional amount in the water fund to make the water and sewer even. That's like 100,000 would make them even. at this point. Water is $650, sewer is $750. There's an argument that while we maintain the pump stations, which are very expensive, we also support the infrastructure and all the water main breaks.
So does
An
anybody have-
an argument could be made that they would be equal.
does anybody have an issue if we take an extra $100,000 in overhead tax from the water fund, is what you're telling me?
Well, we're also ending the water funds at a deficit of
Yes.
164. I know there's a lot of money in there, but now you're gonna make that.
Yeah, it's the same net end result.
The overall fund balance for the borough does not change. It just shifts part of the fund balance to the water fund.
But it's 1/4 of a, potentially, you could say you're reducing your increase by 1/10 of a point for this year. Where I think the borough has, in the past, probably should have done is just raise taxes minorly over the course of time. That was part of that, so I admit it. But it's hard when you have $12 million in a bank account to say you're going to raise taxes. But now we're doing all the big work, to start the main process being the maintenance garage facility. Fire company, I mean, it's things that has to get done.
That's all the money we could have used for that.
Steve, it's trivial money really, but that, getting back to that highway lighting, doesn't have to be 125, we could do half of it. You know, make it a 2-year project.
But these are the things we just keep kicking down the road. I'm not picking on, but like rec programming is something that when you get rid of it, the money's not spent. Instead of saying, we're gonna not spend it this year, but spend it next year. It's just gonna take next year's,
Understood.
overspending of $1 million up to $1.5 million if we just keep pushing everything. So I'm just trying to shrink down some spending that's we've pushed a lot down the road. And,
So
like
what
we
is the
said,
rec
it's,
budget versus last year's budget? I'm just asking you to find it so I don't have to.
The second page of the rec budget. 25 budget had a deficit of 840. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Projected to end the year less than that because delayed project. And proposed budget for next year is a deficit of 515. It's smaller because it doesn't have the Berkshire Heights playground in there.
Are we doing an analysis of what the total amount of taxes and revenue coming in 25 was, or 4 versus 5, and then 5 versus upcoming 6? Because if we know what the revenue is anticipated 6 from real estate transfers, new, whatever it is that makes up the revenue. What?
We analyze that to death, actually.
We do that every month.
Yeah.
But explain what the increase in revenue will be in 26 versus 25, anticipating.
Well, first of all, what makes you think it's an increase?
Well, we're hoping it's going to, I mean, if
The
more people,
increased results,
well, you have to take an option for something, either stop selling and buying something, or you said cut back on this. Well, if we're going to say cut back on this, let's see, over the last couple of years, did revenue go up in these categories? If it didn't go up, then we're not going to find
it
anything.
goes up for 2 reasons. One would be a rate increase, which the borough can control.
Right.
The second being the assessed value of the real estate, which the borough cannot control.
Right. But is there a revenue stream that we can compare 25 and 24 with?
Yes.
What is it, the total
The
amount of
very
revenue?
much.
What's that?
Taxes. The very first line.
Real estate current
It's
tax.
there every month.
All right, so what,
24
so how much,
actual, 25.
all right, so how much more money did we make in 25 than we had in 24?
It's a
We
24.
budgeted $51,000 more.
Right, so if you take those numbers and fix those as your anticipated revenue, and you cut back on stuff that the next meeting, we start talking about getting another fire truck or another police car, saying Ixnay, not happening, and just you'll gradually increase your
Projected to
revenue.
be 5.407,
What's that?
projected to be 5,407,000.
Is that enough?
Is it enough that what we project? It's hard to.
Well, I'm only saying it because it may make the bad news better if we know we could make more money. Like you said, if you cut back on the.
Sure, if there are a lot more houses go for sale, we might make more money and.
Get the mall moving, we might make more
we might
money.
make more money, but how much do
Not
you want
what we're gonna do with the Crown
if we're just gonna start throwing-
Plaza next year.
I'm not saying that you're saying throw darts at the door, but we gotta be realistic on our expectations.
That's Phyllis's best projection, I mean, we accept
Yeah.
it.
Well, that's what you do. You project the increase.
Right, that's what she's
You
done.
could do both. You can project a decrease. We're gonna lose money. or
We
you-
haven't done that. We projected an increase in the budget number.
This is her
We
expert
approved
opinion.
hiring up to 2 new police officers, correct?
With the recently assigned agreement, just one,
With one.
and it's a replacement.
We have budgeting for both of them in here? We could not hire another police officer.
We'll hire later in the year, but.
We could go from 22 down to 21 and
Right.
not hire another police
Would we
officer. I
miss
don't
him?
know.
Would we
That's
miss
gonna
him?
save us a
John
chunk of
would
money.
miss him,
Well, but
we
we
miss
all-
him.
We also need to ask John, how does that affect overtime? I mean, you could have a false savings, I don't know.
Well, it's gonna affect overtime possibly, but I mean, one police officer is gonna cost the borough
Much,
roughly $4 million when it's all said and done.
Well, not a year.
not a year.
No, but when,
How much a year?
everyone you hire is gonna cost that much money. We've got 22 in-house, 22 times 4 million. When you talk about pension and insurance and wages.
Well, I still think we need to know.
So I feel like part of what we're up against right now, as we're mentioning, so all of these things that have come down to us, we'll say, anything that's been deferred or projects that haven't occurred that we're trying to catch up on and do right now. Obviously, we're putting a pretty hefty tax increase there in the moment. I don't think anybody is happy about budgeting at a deficit going into next year. I think that sitting around this table at this particular point in time isn't necessarily going to move the needle from what we're
Correct.
doing right now. So I think that what we need to more look at is how can we start to generate a better plan to impact those numbers starting next year before we get to October. So what can we do to start having those conversations, or looking at the headcount for police, or looking at those other things and better getting plans, or better getting a reserve structure down the road for what we need to do for the large capital projects.
Right, but today we have to approve.
So, I would say at this point, I would unfortunately be in favor of draft 5, which is the larger tax increase, which is still going to put us at a substantial deficit. I appreciate what we're looking at in draft 6, where we're not taking all of those additional increases. So I could also be in favor of option 6, but I think I'd be more in favor of option 5 at the moment.
All right, well, no matter which one we pass, we're gonna have to do it soon, because my hour and a half is up. One thing we're gonna have to do is find ways during the course of the year, if something does come up, to not, maybe the second fire person, the police officer, you can drag it out 6 months and save 6 months worth of salary, those kind of things, but it's not gonna affect what we're voting on today, I agree with that.
But I think that we should look to try to make some sort of longer term plan where we have a multi-year look to, instead of just trying to Band-Aid the problem at budget season every
Well, I
year.
think what you do is in the future years, we start budgeting for an increase in taxes and funding some future projects with reserves.
Yes.
I think that's what you do. I would agree with that. We tried to do it before.
So what would we say? If we want to do it, I want to make sure we get some sort of concrete plan in the books. Does that involve an ad hoc committee? Does that involve a regular agenda item? What's the best way we can carry that forward to not lose steam?
Problem is, I think when you talk about personnel cost, it comes under personnel. when you're talking about fixing a building, that comes under infrastructure. Vehicles, that's under fire and police, if it's a fire and police department, right? So I think each committee might have to take a little look at everything.
Okay.
And if that's something you have to add to the budget, I mean, to the agenda every month, then so be it.
So I think we need to maybe find a way out of this committee, out of finance administration, to make sure we relay that back across the board to all of the other committees, doing it in a reasonable time frame that we can have those conversations before we get to budget time without putting too much additional burden on the staff and everyone else who is going to need to do those analysis.
So-
We're planning a tax increase, we're planning a tax increase for next year already.
Yes.
And you're saying we should anticipate, or Steve said, anticipate tax increase the
Going
following year.
forward, correct.
Well, you'd be crazy not to think that, because
Well,
everything else is gonna get more expensive.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
we're
if
still
you're gonna
running at a
raise, if
deficit.
you're gonna raise wages by 4%, you gotta raise taxes by.
I get
4%
that, but I
increase,
guess
you know,
if you don't spend the money, the taxes are going.
I agree, Ron. I mean, so the thought that Rick had, and I've been saying it before, is let's get into the year. Let's try to find a way to save every dime we can, and we'll go from there. If that means whatever, we have to cancel a movie in the park because we didn't have a sponsor for it, then we cancel it. It is what it is.
Well, it's all right. If you're going forward with a plan, and the plan works, and you break even or whatever, what you don't want to do is add taxes and then say, oh, we can spend money because people are paying more taxes.
You know, Ron, I think that's a really good point. What you're saying is you don't just want to continue to raise taxes without a good plan for next year, right? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's what we need to do better. I think we need to generate a multi-year plan, to Steve's point. So as we say, even now, we're most likely going to anticipate another tax increase next year. We need to do everything between now and October next year, when we're going to start to build the budget, to go to every other committee and say, how are you going to save money next year? But that can't happen in October and expect to finish the budget in November. So that's
Keeping in mind
100%
that,
that's what it.
keeping in mind that, what do we say, 60% of our budget was just turning lights on, paying personnel costs, over, insurance, all that other good stuff.
Yeah, but some of that again goes back to council deciding what is turning
Is
the
the
lights on, because funding the library and or doing other things that are not really part of day-to-day operations.
I mean,
That-
those are some of the things we got to figure out.
No,
Yeah, the library costs us $300,000 a year.
212.
No, the 212 plus.
Yeah, we pay the
maintenance,
utilities.
Mowing, utilities, repairs, it's 300, it's just shy of 300.
There's going to be some difficult choices in the future, no doubt about it.
Well, the whole, dark thing in the corner is, we have this money in the bank that we're waiting to build, pick it, A, B, or C. What money?
We don't have any money, we
No
have to
money
build
in the
it,
bank.
there's no money.
I thought we had a few $1 million in the bank, so.
No, when the
Restricted.
reserves, we don't have more than 1 month worth of unreserved funds, and all the other funds are
I
reserved
thought there
in the
was money
different fund
Put
balance.
in our bank somewhere covering these buildings we want to build.
No,
There's
No.
zero money.
there's zero reserved funds for future
Are
buildings.
you saying something else, or no money is no money? You telling me there's money, but it's reserved?
We have no reserves for future buildings, correct?
We have 1 month.
But like, if I say like right now, we have money on deposit somewhere to build a new building.
We don't.
We do not have money, correct?
No.
That does not exist.
Great, that's a breath of
They
fresh
stay
air,
fast.
because the only money we have left then is one bank loan, that's it. And the rest of it, we're just paying it, going along and paying our taxes, which is great. Because I thought that we had stashed money that wasn't enough, that we were waiting for a grant to come in to build a building, which would have taken.
We
not
borrowed
only-
all the money,
Yeah,
and we were
that-
expecting to get a reimbursement from the state. The state hasn't given us the reimbursement. That's the issue.
We borrowed the money to build the building.
Yeah, not that building. I'm talking about this building
Let's talk about a different.
and the other building.
There's a balance of roughly 300,000. We got 3 million from RACP. We spent, let's say, 2.7-ish, 2.5 to 2.7 on the public works garage.
If we've already spent it, that's fine, I don't care.
Well, the
It's great.
balance of that 300,000, we can use towards another capital improvement.
Yeah, I get that, but that's where it becomes chicken feed. I thought there was big dollars. If there's $300,000 there, forget about the new police department and a new one of these, because you're talking millions then, and you're really out of our own league. So that's great. We're good. We've got this thing going. I'm good with what Rick said. I think it's a good idea.
What you would have said years before.
Yes, we're gonna vote on the budget.
Okay, so anybody want to make a recommendation to move the council on the tax increase? 4, or was it 5 or 6 is our choices now? Sorry. Yeah,
5 is a
4.
1.25 mil increase, 6 is 1 mil.
I'll make the motion to move draft 5 forward to council.
Trying to get the right page here.
But the 1.25,
That's a larger one.
That one.
Of which the majority of it's going to fire or EMS.
I'll second that.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to move forward budget draft number 5 with an overall tax increase of 1.25 mils.
Okay, I lost,
Listed out.
I lost one.
For the sake of the discussion at the moment, again, if anyone feels more strongly to move forward with version 6, I would also be in support of version 6, but I think the higher tax amount unfortunately is necessary.
Might as well rip the Band-Aid off, I guess. Okay. We have a motion and a second to move budget number 5, just so I'm clear on this, which is a 0.5 increase to the EMS, or starting at EMS. 0.5 increase to start a fire tax. 0.15 to the general fund. And 0.1 to road tax. Okay. So we have a motion and a second. Did everybody agree, the motioners and the seconders agree to what I just said?
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Sorry to the borough of Wyomissing.
Are we gonna talk about the water increase?
1.25,
One
draft
point,
number 5.
draft number 5,
I will need a minute or so to round everything off,
of course.
to make it cosmetically pleasing for advertising.
I do
That was
have a
finance
question.
meeting, is council.
Yeah, we got to vote on it.
I
Word.
do have a question on the water rate. You're increasing the water rate 10%?
She's not, the committee is.
Right.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, we are. We are.
Okay. 60% of the quote, we just set the 10% increase for the water.
That's what it's going to be. That is the final.
10%. That's only about 60% of the cost.
Understood.
Why are we raising the rate 10%?
Because we got to, my hunch, tell me if I'm wrong, is we're paying, there's going to be maintenance to that we have to pay for.
Infrastructure to maintain as well. We
But
don't- We don't just buy water.
But did everything else go up 10%?
More. The cost for meters is significant.
You're saying that other than the purchased water, the other 40%, that's going up roughly 10%, you think? Really?
Just as,
When it's said and done, our water is still way cheaper than Chillington.
Oh, hey,
So it's going up 10%.
I've been living that for a while now, yes. Yes, it is a lot cheaper, please believe me. I'm just saying we want to pass on the least amount that we can to the consumer, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you're saying other things are going up 10%, then okay, then I guess we have to go with 10%. I was just asking the question. Purchase 60.
We're back to the Wyomissing Hills argument versus the Wyomissing argument.
Well, that's not it. It's just Chillington, which is Western Berks Water Authority's water is like
No, it isn't.
60%. It's, according to that water chart, it is.
Wellington's Western Berks Water Authority.
Chillington's water costs $196.
That's all right, I thought you said, okay.
Or whatever, what's their rates are $196. Our rates are $118.
Yes, right. Yes, Shilling's a lot more expensive.
And even, I think even
Right,
after
so-
the increase, we will still be below.
We would still be below,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
mean, we're going up $11.
Then you answer my
If you're hanging out,
Okay.
if you're hanging out in Wyomissing
A
Hill,
lot of this points to is we need to do a better job of explaining and selling to our residents. People tend to view, as I've said this countless times over the years, people tend to view their real estate taxes in total.
Yes.
70% of it go to the school district and about 20% of it goes to the county.
Right.
What we provide for that other 10 or so percent is a bargain.
Agreed.
I've said that forever. That
Agreed.
the
I agree.
borough- The money paid for the borough services is a bargain. I agree with that. I've also said that for many years.
And if we want to maintain a fire company that puts fires out all over western part of Berks County.
Yeah.
Well, if you're talking about water, you're either going to be real happy at Wyomissing Hills or real unhappy.
Doesn't
Because
affect we can't affect Wyomissing Hills.
Aqua bought American Water. So is their water going to go up or down?
It goes up every year.
Are you kidding?
Well, it may
They're
not.
almost, they're more than
This,
double.
it's not, this
our
isn't a discussion we need to have.
Yeah, we don't need
Doesn't- we have
this
no
discussion.
control over
About-
this.
We have no control over
We have
any
no
of it.
control over it. We tried to buy the Penn
Oh, I
District.
understand.
To buy it, they told us they'd buy us.
And they said, we don't sell, we buy.
Other action
Okay,
items.
so the motion has moved on. Any other questions? What do I do next?
Council,
We have an action 5. I was
council
gonna,
still needs to approve advertising the budget based off.
okay, I was thinking of finishing finance. We can do it either way.
Let's finish finance. Request to pay 2025 real estate tax for the owner of 1235 Penn Avenue. Request a waiver of penalty tax. Want to give us some background on this again?
I'm not aware of this one to be, oh wait, is this one that came through right after? Same thing, asking to be allowed to pay the penalty, to be flat rate, to pay their taxes at the flat rate, not at the penalty rate. This would be similar to the one that, council just denied last night.
Was there a?
Denied it, right?
Didn't get the
Denied
bill?
them. Yeah, they have to pay
Okay,
the
so I'm
bill.
going to make a motion to
I make
table, approve, or deny.
Deny. I
Okay, we have a
mean,
recommendation to deny. Anybody want to second that?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Yeah, it's have it. I think we need to put something next year in your tax bill is coming out. If you don't get it, you are still going to be held liable for the tax.
still responsible for, absolutely.
Do we have to do the public comment part now too, Chris?
Sure.
I think you took public comment on council agenda items at the beginning of the meeting.
This commingled meeting could.
Well, let's,
You need to go back and do the council motion.
yeah, so we did public comment for the committee. I think at this point, we can close the committee meeting, go to council, take a motion on the agenda.
Adjourn the committee meeting?
What's that?
But adjourn the committee meeting?
Yes.
The finance and admin committee meeting is adjourned. Got to vote on that. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we're closed.
Okay, so now the council needs to consider the budget.
Thank you.
And did we have council act on that prior denial of the request for the flat fee? I don't recall.
The one
Yeah.
from last week?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yes, we
okay, so
did.
that'll have to be on the council agenda as well. And then we do public comment.
Okay, so, council, or the meeting of council as a whole is back in session. We have before us from the Finance Committee, recommendation for draft number 5, which includes a 1.25 mil increase for 2026 budget. Somebody wish to make that motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
We have a motion and second, and I think we're going to take a roll call on this.
Councilmember Brunner?
Yes.
Councilmember Stanko?
Yes.
Councilmember Reimer?
No.
Councilmember Barnett?
Yes.
Councilmember Weinhofer?
Yes.
And Council President Jenks?
Yes. Motion is 6-1. Moves to have it advertised,
5-1.
5-1.
or 5-1, excuse me.
Subject to cosmetic changes for rounding.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it.
Now we have
Give them
the
a
second,
the tax relief.
yeah, the 1, 2, 3, 5 Penn Avenue.
Okay, there's,
Recommendation of denial from the committee.
yeah, I thought we had done this.
We did it different
Different
property.
property, okay. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to deny allowing the property owner at 1235 Penn Avenue to pay a flat rate for the property tax bill.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
We approved.
Public comment for council.
Their request is denied.
Said yes.
Are there any public comments as they relate to non-agenda items? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
I know you've talked about that. You've had that since